Good morning, Jenny Flores. Good morning, Jenny. Good morning, Truy. How are y'all doing? Working and watching. Be careful, Truy. I always worry about people that are at work because it's like, I don't want you to get in trouble. Good morning, St. Martinez. Where are you at? Are you outside, Jenny? Is it beautiful outside? Oh, you don't work? I don't either, so I get up late. I just got up a little while ago, but I already drank my coffee. Of course, I drank it and ate some cookies, so now my nose is runny. Sharon Lynn, how's it in Spain? Tina, good morning. I want to let you all know that I was thinking about the show last night, and I'm kind of glad that I don't have any fairies that want to be sending me stuff, because I would be like constantly mad. Oh, I bet. In Arizona, it's not too cold, right? Because I don't think it gets like, over there it's either real hot or real cold. But I've passed through Arizona a few times and those mountains are beautiful. Yep. Because if it gets cold, it's going to be too cold to be outside sitting on the porch. Oh, okay. St. Martinez, you work from home? Oh, that's good. Because like I was telling y'all, I mean, I do believe that I've done a few shows that go out of the normal. But for these haters to always be constantly saying that all that comes out of me is hate, and that all that comes out of me is the occult, and that I'm a devil worshiper, I think that that's a Santa Cena right there. You know, I remember when we went to get those Santa Cenas in the other side, they were custom made for us. That's a 3D portrait of a Santa Cena. It's an actual, it has a clock, so somewhere on there, there's a clock. I never used it as a clock, but more than 30 years ago, we went and bought 13 of those portraits from one person on the other side of Monterrey. And I had it in my house in Texas City, and when I got this shack, I brought it over here and I hung it there, and it's crooked. I don't care. I'm not gonna straighten it, you know. I don't move it much, but it's there. So for somebody to constantly be on social media saying that I'm a devil worshiper, wake up. The only person worshiping the devil is back there in the back pew. That's you. I would be constantly mad if I had to be thinking of how to be embarrassing or belittling somebody else on the internet. You know, it's like, really? I'm not gonna be wasting too much time on that person, but get a life. Stop hanging around with the people that you hang around with, because the Bible says, dime con quién andas y te diré quién eres. It's in Proverbs. Look it up. My cousin Google will tell you the exact chapter and verse. But it is in Proverbs. Tell me who you hang around with, and I'll tell you who you are. You know, and for these people not to have nothing, absolutely nothing positive to say to anybody, and every time they're gonna open their mouth, it's something negative about my sister, Belda, RJ, Joanne, myself. You know, really? Get a life. I woke up this morning and I turned my phone on to TikTok. I like to see TikTok. And Jelly Roll was singing When My Spirit Is Weak. And I love that song. And then I went to another song and I shared it because I do believe that every knee shall bow and every tongue shall sing. And that's an English song that I've been hearing on TikTok, and I just shared it to my Facebook because not only is all the scenery that they put on there um, beautiful, it's beautiful scenery on the whole song, but the song itself is the hope of every Christian that is seeing me. And, you know, I do believe that. But for these people to just be saying that I'm evil, I'm a devil worshiper, even the devil has to bend his knee to God. You think I'm afraid of him? You crazy if you think that. Why am I not afraid of the devil? Because the devil is no better than me in God's eyes. I was brought into God's presence because Jesus died on that cross for me. And I want to let you know that if you don't believe that Jesus died on the cross for your sins and my sins, you got a problem. Keep on spewing that hate. I don't see it all the time. But I have 13 people here, and I want to thank the 11 of you all that have hit like. Jeannie Flores, how are you? I'm doing good. I'm just thinking about that person that I had to give a public apology to last night, and it's too early in the morning. Actually, it's already almost 12 here. But, you know, I went to sleep last night, and I didn't get up till 10 this morning, so I slept pretty good, I think. I didn't have to worry about anything. Because my Bible says, en paz me acostaré y así mismo dormiré, porque solo tú, Jehová, me haces dormir confiado. And to be able to go to sleep at 11 at night and get up at 10 in the morning and not worry about anything or any sound that happens outside of my house is a blessing to me. I haven't even opened the door yet. My door, that's how my door gets closed, because my son-in-law placed, this is not a mansion, but my son-in-law placed that bar there. I don't know why I'm stuck on the door. He put 2 brackets on each side, and every night when I lock the door, I put that bar across those brackets. If somebody tries to break in here, they will have to break a leg or something in order to get in here. So I sleep very comfortably at night. I don't worry about what's going on outside, and I do get out sometimes outside in my house and walk around my house in the midnight, after midnight, in the middle of the night, because I'm not afraid. There's a sign on my door that says, nothing in here is worth your life. So you take that one however you want. But I am licensed to carry. And I think that one is so funny. I'm licensed to carry But the state didn't actually give me the license until I get a job that tells me that I can actually carry it. Aren't they funny? But they took the money. Sharon, you were babysitting a puppy? Good morning, Eunice. You were babysitting a puppy, Sharon? Ah, that's gotta be something. You gotta be taking him out every 3 hours if you have him inside the house, watching and making sure he doesn't get into things, or having him in the little taxi and walking him too. I have 22 people here. I want to let you all know that our heart is heavy this morning. Mrs. Trevino has been a follower of us for quite a while, and she lost her brother yesterday. So our condolences from Peacocks United and myself to Mrs. Trevino on the loss of her brother. She said she was okay, and they were expecting it for a while, but we still want to tell her that we give her and her family our condolences, and that we are praying for God to give them the comfort that they need so that they can get through these few days, because it's hard to lose a loved one, and especially so close to the holidays. But Mama Testa, Mrs. Trevino lost her brother, and we're just giving her our condolences, and letting everybody know. ¿Qué pasó? No pasó nada, girl. Estos haters nomás me hacen que esté levantándome todavía encorajinada, diciéndome que soy una devil worshiper. Nunca se les quita de la colonia. Lo que están pensando todo el tiempo les sale de la colonia, no les sale de los sesos que Dios les dio. ¿Tú cómo estás, Mama Testa? Since everybody wants to know who Mama Testa is, maybe it's me. Eunice says, my condolences to her and her family. Vanessa Trevino says, I know the feeling. Next Wednesday will be 8 years since my mom passed away. My condolences to her entire family. Yes, it's hard to have a loved one pass away so close to the holidays, and even if you're preparing for it, even if they're telling you the time is coming, because once they tell you, once they put hospice in control of the situation, you already know you don't have that much time. Andas al millón. El Casino Mamalón is almost ready. Oh, wow. Invite me there. I don't have any money, but hey, I'll pass out the drinks. Yes, it's real hard, but when you have a community that is full of empowered women that can pray for you, that is always going to be helpful, because prayer can move mountains. Even if people don't believe it, We are believers. Me and my sisters are believers in prayer warriors. Our mother was a prayer warrior, and we believe in the power of prayer between two or three people, even one person. You don't have to be inside of a church to pray. You can be driving a car and praying. Just pray with your eyes open, please, if you're driving. But, prayer in the silence of your home in the middle of the night is probably the best time to pray because nothing is moving around you, nothing is making any distractions around you. And it's between you and God what you want to pray for, what needs you have, and what He will fulfill. It's not caprichos. God does not, grant caprichos. Every once in a while He will, but He will grant necessities more than caprichos. Jay Martinez says, my mom always told me if something happens to her, she would want me to take care of my brother. Well, my brother passed away on my birthday several years ago. Wow, what a bond she left you. And then he left you an even better one when he left. I hope that, he left in peace and that you were there to see it happen. I know that I was on the phone with my mother-in-law when she passed away. My daughter was there, and she just wouldn't let it go. She would not let life go. And I was in the phone, and my daughter put the phone next to her ear, and I was telling her, you did so much for all of us. And it's time for you to just let it go. We are happy with everything that you did in our lifetime. And we are happy that you are ready to just meet God and let this life go. She was in her close to her 90s when she passed away. And God had given her a long life. And my father-in-law had given her a beautiful life. That lady lacked nothing when she left. I'm not saying that they lived in luxury, but she didn't lack nothing. And even when she was placed in a nursing home because her dementia had made her forget how to walk. My daughter would see her every Sunday. They would get together. My father-in-law was always sent money by her brother in Monterrey because her brother was in exports and imports of grains. So he was very wealthy, and he didn't want nothing to lack in his sister's life. Even though she was in a nursing home the last few years of her life, he didn't want her to lack nothing, just the same way as nothing lacked when she was at home. He made sure that the last few years that she was in that nursing home, even my father-in-law would drive to Galveston and bring her food from restaurants that they would go to during their lifetime and into the nursing home. And she would eat that, or he would drive every morning to Denny's and bring her breakfast from Denny's. She rarely ate the food that they gave at the nursing home because her brother would make sure that she had money to still go to restaurants if she wasn't moving from that place. And my father-in-law would go and get it for her. Yes, Sharon. All of us do grieve in different ways. Sharon says people grieve in different ways. Some hold it in, and some show it. The loss is still there significantly. And it is. It's still a loss. We all love our siblings different also, but it still is a loss. And, our condolences to Miss Trevino. Uh, but you do feel the loss in different ways, whether it's your mom, your dad, or your brothers or sisters, or even your uncles. Because sometimes you have an attachment to your uncles and aunts in different ways too. But I was coming this morning to let you all know that, hey, it doesn't matter what people say about us out there. I'm at the point in my life where, you know what, I don't care. I don't see it often. It's rare when they show me something like what they showed me yesterday. And it doesn't matter what they think. Even people that have siblings that are murderers, that doesn't stop those siblings from being your family. And it doesn't matter what those siblings did, they're still your siblings. So, and you weren't there, I wasn't there, nobody was there. They're the only ones that know what happened, how it happened, and when it happened. Um, we're just here to good morning, LV Raiders. We're just here to say that family is family, and whatever situation family is going through, we stand strong with our family. And the Peacocks United group is our family. It's an extended part of our family. And Miss Trevino has been part of this family for quite a few years. And we knew that this was going to come about, but she was still not expecting her brother to pass away. So, our condolences to Miss Trevino and her entire family. Thank you, Eunice Benavides. Eunice says that's beautiful. She was a very lucky lady. Angie, you say good stories. I have very fond memories of my mother-in-law. I lived with her for 5 years, and she was not a person that would smile a lot. And it was rare to see her like even giggle or laugh. But she came from an era where, they were educated different. They were from the higher class in Mexico. So they were not, just commoners. So she was raised different. She was real proper. And then she had that OCD or whatever it's called. And you had to be like super clean around her. I always laugh with my daughter because, even my daughter was always had to always be like super clean, always dressed with the little cutesy dresses. I'll find some pictures and show you all someday where she would dress her with the little fluffy dresses and the hats and the little charol shoes and the socks that had the lace on them. And then she even had to have gloves. She wanted my daughter to be raised properly. She didn't ever have children, so I kind of think she stole my daughter from me. LB Raider says, my condolences to Miss Trevino and the family. I will keep her family in my prayers. Thank you. Thank you, LB Raiders. I do. Good morning, Linda. I do believe that, if two or three get together and pray about the same thing, that, that's more of a chain that will work for getting that prayer to come to pass. Hi, Lily Banda. How are you? Um, but it's like, oh my goodness, I was like all night thinking about that. It's like we just went through another um, peacock losing her mom last week, and then today Miss Trevino's losing her brother. And those are valleys, okay? Valleys that all of us have to cross. It's a path that all of us are going to take, whether it's us or a loved one. But, it's just something that we all need to be aware of. We all need to unite in prayer and just pray for each other. Pray for each other to be blessed immensely in different ways, with health, with financial blessings, with joy in our lives. Because sometimes prayer is not all about money, and it's prayer is not all about health. We do need to think that mental health and mental stability are part of prayer, especially on our world that we live right now that is so full of stress. We need to pray for each other's emotional stability. That's one of the biggest prayer chains that we need to think about starting in 2026 is the prayer for mental stability, for emotional stability for each other, because it doesn't matter what's going on. Everybody has a different way to react to the situations that they're living on a daily basis. And it's like hard to just say, well, that person needs money. Maybe that person doesn't need just money. Maybe that person needs a hug and there's nobody to hug them. Maybe that person needs somebody to say, hey, you know what? It doesn't matter what you're going through, it'll get better. Thank you, Linda. It'll get better by tomorrow, by the next day. You'll feel better about the situation. You'll think it different. You'll see a different angle in whatever it is that you're going through in your life right now. I always believe in those kind of things because somehow I have made it for 3 years without working. And the last couple of months, oh my gosh, 2 months ago, I got a pink bill from the light company. And I'm like, wait a minute. I always pay my bill on the 3rd. I know it's due on the 27th, but I always pay it on the 3rd. And it's barely the 3rd, and these people are already sending me a pink bill. And then it was a pink bill, and then I opened it, and then they said, your bill was due on the 27th, but you have till the 10th of the month to pay it. Well, it got paid before the 10th, but God does not choke you until you're going to drown or die. He's going to make you worry a little bit. So we do have to worry about some things. But then he opens up a gateway and it gets done. And I don't know how it has gotten done for me. Always, because I tell people, el que me mantiene a mí es dueño de todo. And, I had been arguing with God, and sometimes I do argue with God, hey, I've been waiting this long. Why hasn't it happened? And, the beginning of 2025, I had already been arguing with God for over 2 years about my red Nissan. My red Nissan's motor was broken, and I had paid $600 for parts, and they put the parts on the motor, and they said it still doesn't have any compression. It's the motor, it's not the parts. Well, you can't return parts that were already installed on a motor. So that was 600 down the drain. And then Ophelia's like, let's go to the game room, Angie. And I was like, man, I don't have money. I only have $80 in the bank. She's like, get some money. Let's go to the game room. We need to get our mind away from things. And I'm like, well, this chick is not going to stop. She's not going to stop. So let me just get $60. I'll leave $20 for an emergency. So I got $60 out of my bank. And I'll tell you all, I went to the game room. Let me show you all something. This is a shawl that Yaya made for me this year. And this shawl, she's in the pockets. Because I told her, Yaya, the pockets need to be at a certain height. And she didn't know. So she just sent me the pockets and I sewed them on here. But then on the inside, I sewed another little pocket that has, let me show you. It was a bandana and I sewed it in there and I made a flap so it created a second pocket. in there in a third pocket because there's a first one, then there's the little bandana, and then there's a third one, right? Well, this one is this year's that Yaya gave me. But one of the peacocks did this one for me like 2 years ago. But in January, it was kind of fresh. So in January, I had this one on when I went to that game room. Well, I want to tell you that I had bought some sheet sets at Walmart. And see the pocket on this one? Well, this was the cover for the sheet set. It was a it wasn't in a plastic bag. It was in a little nylon bag that had Velcro. So I sewed it inside of this pocket. And I took this and I had this on at the game room while I was playing. I had taken $60. I was on my last $20 at the game room. And I was mad because I was playing 50 cents. And the machina hadn't given me anything. And I was counting because I always count. And I'm like, the next spin is 29. I'm going to hit $1. I only had $20 left in the machine. I had already put $40 in. And it hadn't given me nothing. And then I hit $1. And it gave me the games. And then I was pushing the games, and the fire links, the balls were coming down. And then I saw that the machine had put mega on the top, on the very top. And I needed 10 spins to get to that mega. And I kept pushing, and it was getting closer and closer. And then I had 3 spins. I only needed one more to open that top line. And I'm like, you know what? This machine is giving me cream of wheat. Like it's giving me a tole con el dedo because it's not going to hit. And I hit it and it didn't drop nothing. And then I hit it again and it didn't drop nothing. And I'm like, yeah, it's giving me cream of wheat. That last line is not going to open. But then when I hit it the last time, it dropped one ball for $1, I think, and it opened that last line. Well, that last line was worth $10,200. And I had been complaining to God about 2 years about when am I going to get my truck fixed. I haven't been working, and that truck has been parked somewhere else for that amount of time. And for the last month, it had been parked in my backyard because I had moved it away from where it was. And I was complaining to God. I had been complaining to God, praying and complaining. It was just a complaint prayer. Well, let me tell you, this pocket that I put in here, this little nylon pocket that I put in this shawl that somebody so lovingly crocheted for me, came back with 10,400 and something dollars. And that's how that Nissan got fixed. And it's been parked. The Nissan has been parked for 2 months, not because of the motor now, because when it got parked 2 years ago, it had a brand new battery, but when it came to my house, it had no battery. So when I took it to that junkyard for them to put another motor in it, I told them it doesn't have a battery in there, so please put a battery. They charged me $50 more. And that battery that they put, well, it was old and used, so it only lasted like 6 months. But I used the truck for 6 months this year. And now I'm complaining again. I'm not complaining because God hasn't given me or granted me everything that I've wanted. I'm complaining because now I always have driven the blue truck. It's an older truck. It's a 2001 and the Nissan is a 2010. But the blue truck that I drive around here didn't have the windshield wipers. Then I fixed that. And it's always fixing something, right? Because we're not rich. But my whole thing is I still smile because somehow he manages to give me what I need. And I tell people, good morning, Maria Chongos. I tell people, God always has given me what I needed at the appropriate time. It's not whenever I want to, just because I'm having a capricho that I need it or I want it. And like, like I was saying last week, I had to go like this on the truck because I'm thinking about a blinker light because I could hear that something is wrong with the blue truck and there's a blinker that's off. And you can hear it when you're driving and you're putting the blinkers. You can hear it if it's if you can hear that little snap a lot, that means one of your blinkers is not working. So I had checked it and I was laughing because I saw the windshield, and that's not, that little corner of the windshield is not something that I have to look at. I have to look forward and to the sides, not to that little corner at the bottom. And the license plate is gone. It's like already expired in November, and it's been like 10 or what, 10 days, 9 days. But I was laughing at that. I'm like, I'm gonna have to start praying again. But it'll happen before the end of this month, so I'm just hoping that they don't stop me between now and then. But the the RPD is looking at every video I make because they want to hear me saying how many times they scratch their balls during the day. They'll probably end up stopping me and saying you need to get a license plate. Yes, Maria Chongos, he does. And I am a firm believer of that. I tell people I didn't even know that I believed in the metaphysica, which is the spoken word. But these haters seem to not take me out of the you're a devil worshiper. No, I'm not a devil worshiper. If I was, something would have happened to all them haters a long time ago. I'm not a devil worshiper. I don't wish nothing bad on anybody, but we all go through things. And if you just came in, I was giving Miss Trevino our condolences. Her brother passed away yesterday, and she has been a follower of Peacocks United for a long time. But she said she was okay. So, well, Sharon, the yearly plate registration used to be that you had to have the insurance on your vehicle, and you had to have your vehicle inspected yearly in order for them to renew your license plate. But now Texas bypassed the yearly inspection on any vehicle. You don't have to have it inspected, but you still have to have it insured, at least with liability, which would cover the other person's car, not yours. They want you to cover the other person, whoever you hit. So your car does have to have liability insurance in order to get your license plates in the state of Texas. That's how the yearly registration works here. But you do have to pay, I think it's like $74 on my trucks. And both of them are already expired now, but like it's $74 each. But the Nissan I'm not getting it until I get the battery on it. If I'm not going to move it, why do I want a license plate on it? It's on top of my driveway under my carport. It's not anywhere near anything public. So I will tell them, Sharon, you know how far down the Aztec line I go on a vehicle that is on my property? I'm not paying you the $75 until it's on your property and moving. The insurance, I'm still paying insurance on it because I might move it. But that's on me. So I'm going to let everybody go right now. It's been 40 minutes. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me into your Wednesday morning. And don't forget, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is Pulga Day. They still have a lot of gifts if y'all want to go to the Pulgas and take a walk, or if you want to go to the store shopping with the kiddos or with other family members. Don't forget that Christmas is already almost here. So you have to pay insurance and road tax. We pay road tax with our houses. We pay taxes with our property tax. Now, I don't think that they charge it with the vehicle tax. I have the card somewhere, but they might. That's why it's $74. I think I heard that there was gonna be like $200, Maria Chongos. So there might be giveaways. They still won't tell me where it's at, but I will make sure to take a stand so that we can have a live show while we're all together enjoying the day or the night. The night, because it's gonna be after 6:30. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day, and yes, there will be some kind of giveaways. So I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, everybody.